07 citizens, Black here from Casa Black Gaming, where my house is your house, and today I wanted to offer up my insightfulness and be completely honest here with my reasons on why gamers should avoid Star Citizen. Now, I've narrowed it down to a top 10 list out of way more reasons that I could easily go on about, because internet research has shown that since most people have 10 fingers, it's easier for them to just count along. So if you're thinking about possibly trying out this game, this video is here to persuade you to go spend your money elsewhere. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to the list. Game creators have many ways to make money for the games that they want to make, such as one of my favorite ways, that being the loot box. Now, I love games where I can buy 10 to 100 loot boxes, not knowing what's inside or what secrets lay within, and just being surprised at all of the cool things that flood my inventory. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend their money on that? And so for CIG to offer up ships for sale that are just flying JPEGs seems a little out of touch with what gamers really want. Who would want to spend money on a ship where you know exactly what its purpose is, how many of your friends can fly along with you, and what size and types of ship components you could use on it? Now compare that to a loot box where you're bound to at least get tons of powerful boosts or consumables, and having a 1 in 1,000 chance to get that special mount or cool emote that drew you to the loot box to begin with. There's just no comparison here. This reason not to play the game could honestly be up higher than where it landed at. The internet speaketh, and the internet is righteth, 99% of the time. Nothing ages bad on the internet, therefore that's really all you need to know. Now, as the supposed war in Ukraine drags on, coming on its 1-year anniversary with no end in sight, where do you think your money is going if you pay Star Citizen to play their game? And yes, game was in air quotes there. It's obviously going into CIG's efforts to produce realistic war footage, which in turn can be sold to network television to help extend the lies about Russia. The irony here is that the game you play looks nowhere near as real as the fake war footage they create, which is just another reason to not play the game, because they aren't even rewarding people who play the game with their very best, which to me, if I were a backer, I'd be tired of that foolishness at this point. Talk about a war of attrition. Now, this theory is only just now making its way to the surface, but it impacts Star Citizen almost exclusively, as you will see here. So what happened when the pandemic hit? Everyone stayed home, were scared to leave their houses, and this is how CIG was able to turn their fortunes around. Things were not looking good for CIG before 2020, and so drastic steps were taken and deals were made, and we are now able to see that after the pandemic, when so many businesses have gone under and so many games were delayed, that CIG is not only thriving, but their numbers are breaking records. CIG is easily on its way to becoming a billion-dollar invested game, but that did not really begin to trend so hard in that direction until COVID. The details are of course not completely known, but it doesn't take a genius to see how much they benefited from the lockdown and subsequent fear-mongering that hit the world. We're not saying that CIG can develop viruses, but has it really been looked in to see if there is a link between viruses from computers and other connected equipment that is in everyone's homes versus supposedly catching it from animals? People interact with their own devices way more than wild animals. Just saying. Now, one of these things here makes sense, and one not so much. So most intelligent people know that birds aren't real, but how does that tie into Star Citizen? Well, it's easy really. Since birds are just tiny drones operated by the government, and one of the key features still missing from Star Citizen is drones, it makes complete sense that the current government is trying to keep the truth from coming out. And if drones were to make it into Star Citizen now, it would expose their true look and confirm what intelligent people, mostly in the southern United States, have known for years now, that birds are not birds and are just tiny robots spying on everyone. So yeah, supporting Star Citizen is like supporting the government who is trying to keep the truth from getting out. Now, I am not one who likes to see my namesake come up in dangerous explanations that are harmful to our world, but black goo is a thing that is more on the lesser known side of dangers to a free-thinking society. But many people have seen it and believe it to just be nonsense fictional reasons to explain something bad happening, like in the plots of shows such as Westworld or in music videos by Billie Eilish. It was even on the cover of the Guardian magazine featuring Greta Thunberg. Now, what does this have to do with Star Citizen? Well, black goo, or also known as graphene oxide, with those initials make up the first two letters in goo, which is a substance that can be in anything, including certain physical merchandise that could be sold to unsuspecting gamers. Now, the thing about black goo is you could come into contact with a small trace of it and be infected, and before you know it, it's too late. Or it can just sit around laying dormant inside of you, coaxing you to make decisions you might not ordinarily make, like spending thousands of dollars on JPEG ships. Oh, and it's most likely in vaccines as well, but that's another topic for another video. With one of the largest games of 2023 on the verge of being released as of the time of the making of this video, why in the world would you even think of playing Star Citizen? Star Citizen is filled with so many missing features, so wouldn't you rather play a game based on the Harry Potter world where you can actually attend Hogwarts starting out as a first year and playing for 7 years straight, which isn't 7 real years, guys, but probably at least half that, plus more with DLCs, in a game that will allow you to do all of the things we imagine while reading the books or watching the movies. You too can live under a stairwell, or talk to snakes, or go out and play some Quidditch. And even if we cannot take on he who must not be named, I'm sure it's like his grandfather or something, or maybe his great-grandfather's butler. No, wait, wizards had house elves, so yeah, maybe we're some runaway house elf in disguise with polyjuice. But regardless, why would you play Star Citizen when you can relive all of that? I, for one, am looking forward to 7 Years of Charms class. Now, this one has been flying under the radar, but some of the biggest political figures in the United States are not the only ones hiding classified documents, or maybe one of them has just found a better way to hide them. The code that makes up one of the hottest new features in Star Citizen, persistent entity streaming, is riddled with its own entities where stolen classified information is being hidden there. Documents were smuggled over the border into Canada, where we know that most of the PES work is being handled, which all makes sense now. Why else has it been delayed for more than 6 months? The only real question is which political figure is the culprit. I think we might have some early Hurston family traits rearing their heads here. This is an excellent reason to stay away from the game, because once that update goes live, all of our computers will be infected with stolen documents, making it virtually impossible to take legal action against so many abusers of the law. Now, think about that for a moment. Now, surely most Star Citizen players are adults for the most part, but the words of wisdom from your mom can still hold true even as an adult, and I'm pretty sure you heard something about spending your money wisely, right? Hell, you might even still be hearing it, if not from your mother, but maybe from your better half who really doesn't want to see your grocery budget getting eaten up due to your inevitable ship buying addiction. You're better off just steering clear and taking some wise advice from those who care. Alright, so before we unveil the #1 reason why you should not buy into Star Citizen, I just want to say that if you like this video and want more content that in no way resembles this type of video, then please like and subscribe. I don't even have to tell you to comment, because I know this video is going to receive so many comments from the haters and like-minded simple folks alike. Now, let's get back to the truth before something happens to me for trying to get this truth out. Alright, here we go. I know that by putting this information to video format that I have now put myself and my family at risk, but here we are. The mastermind behind Star Citizen has ties with AI going all the way back to his childhood when he earned the nickname Chris Roberts. Most people assumed his name is Roberts, like he's Julia Roberts' cousin or something, but even she is not a true Roberts, so there's that. No, he is a Roberts, which comes from his links with robots, or AI, as the narrative is now being changed to draw less attention from himself. But make no mistake, he is as robot as robots can get. When he was a child, kids used to dance around and sing a song they made up called Old Chris Roberts Had a Farm.
Old Chris Roberts had a farm, hey-ya, And on this farm he had some bots. A-I-E-I-O. With a here and a there, here a there everywhere. Old Prince Robert had a farm. A-I-E-I-O.
Alrighty then, that is going to do it for this special list for special people. I hope this helps you see the lunacy that is Star Citizen and why you should stay away from it. I mean, sure, there's other content creators who try to share their vision of reasons to not play, calling it a scam or a game that will never release, but the truth here easily outdoes any of those other purported reasons not to play the game. Just like my favorite TV dad when I was growing up used to say, the proof is in the pudding. Or was that drink the proof so there can't be a conviction? I don't know. It's one of those. He was so insightful, much like this video. Anyway, remember to be kind to your fellow gamer. That's not bird poop, but expended spy fuel. And stay positive citizens.